Parliament are trying to ban organisations that are publicly funded from boycotting Israel. Although recently there's been a warning that doing this, that making the boycott illegal is empowering Russia and could be breaching international commitments. What's your thoughts on that?
Very hard, isn't it? Because instinctively, singling out, I think Lisa Nandy said this in the debate, singling out the world's only Jewish state for boycotts and sanctions is clearly anti-Semitic in itself. Why are they singling out one country?
I don't think, as far as I checked, it's not just Israel, is it?
No, it's not Israel. No, hold on. Yeah. But that's why I'm saying it's very difficult.
Yeah.
So I believe that the government are trying to do the right thing by this decision in terms of making sure that Israel is not singled out, Israel is not demonised, Israel is not judged by different standards to other countries. Yeah. We all know that is happening increasingly, not least of which by the United Nations, which is absolutely shocking, let alone individual local authorities. Okay, but the problem is there is a potential unintended consequences in relation to decisions that local authorities may wish to make against, make decisions about ethical investment, for example. It's not
altogether on a whole scale. Should they ban boycotting Israel? Publicly funded organisations from boycotting Israel.
Should they ban them? Yes, they probably should, because singling out the world's only Jewish state is institutionally anti-Semitic. So yes,
it's a very, very difficult question, but at the end of the day, it's the yes.
Yes, but the problem is, could you have drafted the legislation differently, right?
Yeah.
Which still allowed local authorities to make certain decisions about their investments on an ethical basis, which didn't allow them to single out one country rather than many others. That really is the question.
It's very different.
I don't know the answer.
It's very different from what the rest of the Labour Party is saying.
Maybe.
Yeah. What do you think, Shadman?
Well, I have always believed that BDS is anti-Semitic and there is no room for anti-Semitism in society. Look, these things didn't come up. One thing I don't understand, I saw the news article as I was waiting here, that there was this discussion. A lot of US states, I think 27 US states introduced the anti-BDS bill, similar to what actually we are trying to introduce. Why are we talking about, we are breaking international commitments? America is signatory to more international commitments than Britain. These things didn't come up. So I think, yes, I agree with Ivan totally, singling out Israel while not acknowledging Israel's democracy, which is, I think, no disrespect, a more vibrant democracy than us to an extent, is actually quite anti-Semitic. And we are not singling out Pakistan, we are not singling out, Afghanistan has its own sanctions, but we are not singling out those countries, we are not singling out even properly Belarus, Hungary, those type of countries where there are more human rights violations. We're not even singling out Turkey. There are no sanctions against Turkey, considering what Erdogan has done.
Altogether, this shouldn't.
The way Israel is being singled out.
Is anti-Semitic.
It is anti-Semitic.
That's one definition of the IHRA definition that says that if Israel is being singled out, that's anti-Semitic. I mean, I would go further. I think we've been a little bit timid on this stuff. The United Nations Human Rights Council has passed more resolutions condemning Israel than it has the rest of the world put together during its existence, right? That means that a significant institution of the UN is institutionally anti-Semitic. And we need to say this because it's true. Okay, more resolutions condemning Israel than the rest of the world put together. That can only be motivated by one thing. So what the government has tried to do is with the best intentions, okay, and we should support that. But the unintended consequences are real, okay, which means that if I as a local authority leader say I don't want to invest in country X because it genuinely is a horrendous human rights abuse, and I've got all sorts of objective evidence for that, comparatively speaking. It's not a democracy. Israel is a democracy. It's a vibrant democracy, etc., etc., that's constantly fighting every day against others who want to destroy it. Then it's a very, very difficult, challenging issue. I think, to be fair, what you say about the Labour Party, they didn't vote with the government on this. I think they abstained.
Yeah,
right.
Well, actually, Lisa Nandy, a Labour MP, actually said that Labour opposes BDS as a policy. That will not change. So,
no, she did, and she also more impressively said that singling Israel out is anti-Semitic. And the reason that impressed me is because Lisa Nandy has a long track record of being very pro-Palestinian.
I think she was the Labour.
She was, and so I respect her can admire that. But the truth is, and it's important the Labour Party does oppose BDS and says so before an election, because the BDS movement will try everything they
But the
can
policy that
after
they
election.
how distracted.
I understand why
Yeah.
that there are some unintended consequences. But look, I think that we have been too many Jewish people and those who are Jewish people, friends of Jewish people in different situations, have been, I think, including me in the past, a bit naive about the level and scale of anti-Semitism that exists in our modern world and amongst so-called respectable institutions. Okay, and I, for one, have become much more assertive about believing that we need to call it out. Yeah, and at the moment, I'm not asking anyone to vote for me. Who knows in the future or the past? But it's true. I think we've got to be unequivocal in saying that that people have every right to criticise the actions of the Israeli government like they criticise the actions of any other government in the world. And anybody who tries to shut that down is mistaken and wrong. But singling out and demonising and all the rest of it is totally unacceptable.
Criticizing actions of the Israeli government is just criticizing actions. Israelis do that on a daily basis. Criticize, but when the line crosses, like when you criticize Trump,
How he said the UN does it more than the whole world.
But it's Israel, it's not the government of Israel.
Yeah,
it's condemning an entire country always.
Look, the problem is when you criticize Trump or Rishi Sunak or anybody,
No, it's good.
you are not saying that, America should not exist. When you criticize Israel, and I used to see in Bangladesh all the time, when you criticize Israel, the next line comes, Israel should not exist. And that is anti-Semitic. The moment like from the river to the sea comes in the discourse, that is anti-Semitic. You're calling for the destruction of the only Jewish state and that is democratically there. That is recognized by majority of the countries. One thing I will say, this anti-BDS law, we need it because there needs to be such a law. I don't think it will make a huge impact in terms of investment and business, but it will make a huge impact in academia. I will tell you this is a true story. I was once invited by King's College London, their Jewish Society, and then 2 days before, the invitation was rescinded because they were worried that because of my history, it might annoy the pro-Palestinian elements or the BDS elements in their university, and they rescinded the whole invitation for the talk. So we need an anti-BDS law because the academia has gone out of control when it comes to this.
I think this stems back to the resolutions of the 70s and the 80s that Zionism is racism. Let's be absolutely clear about this. Zionism is the right of the Jewish people to self-determination. And what we've got to say to the left all over the world is this. How come you march and fight for the right of self-determination for every single minority except one? How come? Yeah. And the answer to that can only be anti-Semitism. They demand the right to self-determination, these people, on the left usually, for every minority in the world, except one. Ask yourself why.
Well, I'll add to that. I'll add to that 3 words. Zionism is beautiful.